So you just finished your senior year. It didn't go as planned as you planned it, but you still had a great year. Now it's time for NBA possibilities overseas. Go ahead, kind of go into that.
I'm realistic, man. Like with whatever I do, I try to be realistic, and my parents, they keep me grounded all the time. But from a young age, I always kind of knew, man. Even to make the NBA, when that hype is there, I'm 5'10". You know what I'm saying? And that's with shoes on. So to make the NBA, that's a long shot, man. I mean, I played with an NBA player, and I knew how good he was, and I'd have been around other NBA talent, man. It really take a different level of athleticism and everything else. A lot of stuff got to come together. And toward the end of my career, as far as playing organized, I was hurt a lot. Um, you really don't get opportunities to play in the NBA. Just to be realistic, man. I mean, you know how many good players that came through Chicago, the region for that matter, and we don't have too many pros to show for it. So with me being 5'10" and small and being hurt at that point, man, I was realistic. I knew, I probably could still play overseas or something like that, which those opportunities were out there, but I just didn't have that love and that desire, man. I always, wanted to work harder than anybody. I wanted to be the best, and when that leaves you, then it's time to step away from it. Like I said, I had all those injuries, man, and really to go out there and try to do it again and go overseas, and all I keep thinking about is if I get hurt again, how will I be able to handle that? And I don't really know if I can, so I thought it was the perfect time for me to, take a different career path, man. I was getting my degree, and I always wanted to be an entrepreneur anyway, so, I just focusing all my efforts on being successful in something else. Everybody know me for playing basketball, whether it be here in Indianapolis or back at home. That's what they associate me with, and that's cool because I worked hard from it. But now I'm building my another legacy for myself as far as being a businessman and being young and having your own business and starting your own company. And I want the second phase of what I do to be that part of me, understanding that I did go to school. I mean, I did have over a 3.0 and got a degree, and I am going to use it, and I am going to have my own business. So that's what I'm motivated to do, show my younger cousins and people where I'm from that you don't just have to play basketball to make money or be successful. You can have your own business and start your own company and whatever you might want to do. And as long as you use that same drive and determination, you can be successful with it too.
Okay. So do you think by having so much early success, and and when I say that, I know a lot of basketball players play AAU, have success,
Right.
but you had a lot of early success from Bishop. Did that kind of take on your love away from the game once you left IUPUI?
I mean, I've been playing for a long time, man, and the injuries more than anything. It wasn't anything else, man. It's just like even right now, my cousins and everybody I know, when they see me play now, I'm healthy because I don't play every day. When they see me play, they're like, you should still be playing. Why you not going overseas? Like, and we get in arguments all the time. They be mad at me, man, to be honest, because they know I still can go. But at the same time, I'm the one that been through those injuries. They don't play with my body. They don't know that after we get out there and play in the open gym, then I go home the next day, I can barely move. See, they don't know that side of it or how bad my hand is still hurting or stuff like that. So the injuries, man, like I said, they just took their toll on me, and to the point where I really don't want to do it anymore because of that. I still love the game. I wake up thinking the game. I mean, I'm a point guard, and if you ever been around true point guards, they think basketball all the time. They usually the ones that turn out to be coaches and things of that nature. So I never stop thinking the game or even loving the game. And really, I won't stop playing, but on that competitive level right now where I'm at, I just really don't want to do it anymore.
Okay. So legacy. Let's kind of touch on that. Are you the greatest basketball player that ever come to Bishop?
Well,
and why?
In my mind, I had a mentor, Tion McCoy, and I was too young to really see him play, but just knowing the stuff that he taught me, he laid that groundwork for me to be a great point guard at Bishop. It's a lot of people that had a hand in it. Well, I say I'm the best player to ever come through Bishop for what I accomplished. I'm the all-time leading scorer, and it's hard to argue with that. Like I said, there's other great players, and one thing I never try to do is, judge different generations, because the game was different at different times. People had different teams. The competition level was different. So for my generation, yeah, I do think I'm the best player to ever come through Bishop. But in Tion and Nike McCoy, Skip McCoy, it was a lot of other great guards that was probably great for what they did. But I think, putting everything together with stats and, going on to play in college and things of that nature, if I'm not number one, I'm right at the top. I mean, in my mind, I am, but, that's debatable.
If you'd have went to East Chicago Central High School, what kind of legacy would you have left, and do you feel like you could have left there as possibly the best player to ever come through Central?
Well, any school I go to, man, my whole mindset is to be, for my position, because it's hard to argue different positions. As far as East Chicago, you really can't argue with what Etwan did as far as just like his stats and stuff like that. But he's not my position. He's a 2 guard, 2-3. So for my position in East Chicago in general, I don't think he was a better point guard than me. You can say I wasn't athletic or I didn't do certain things, but for what I could do, I mean, I could pass and I can score. As well as I left my school as the all-time lead scorer. And, some people will say, well, you went to Bishop Noll. And then my answer to them is, you didn't play against a boxing one every day or every night for 2 years, where you were the key guy, and everywhere you went, somebody was on you and you getting double teamed. So, yeah, I might have played at Bishop Noll, but I did have to play against a set defense every time, where you might have played with better players and it was you going one-on-one against them. So just give me those opportunities to just play me and a defender, and I bet I probably would have even scored more. So as far as that go, man, I mean, you'll never know, but I think I would have did a lot of the same things at Central because I had a coach who was behind me. So I think I would have left a really good legacy and been a really good scorer there as well.
Who was the best player you ever played against in high school, and also who's the best player you played against in college? One player.
The best player I ever played against in high school. As far as just like within the region or within the state, as far as high school playing against them, I mean, me and Jawan Turner had a lot of battles. Now that doesn't mean like I felt intimidated or I felt like I couldn't, outperform him.
Hammond High, right?
Hammond High.
Okay.
But every time we play against each other, I know he'd always be up for the challenge, and I would too. I mean, we beat him pretty much every year, but it was like a mutual respect. I know he can go out there and score as well as I could too. So that was, a challenge for me that I welcomed every time we played. So I don't know if I would call it the best, but that was like my most enjoyable games to go against him because he was a good guard from the area too, and I just always wanted to play hard against him. But as far as the best player in high school, I mean, I played with Robert Vaden.
Right.
I played with Courtney Lee.
Pike High School, right?
Pike High School.
Yeah.
I played with Courtney Lee. He's in the NBA now. I played with George. I played with A.J. Graves. I mean, I played with a lot of great players, man. And I can't forget Kenny Harris, because what people don't understand, Kenny was a real good player. And if he wanted to transfer from Bishop Noll, he would have been Mr. Basketball. So, I mean, I played with pretty much everybody, man, from Dwight Howard to all those guys. So, I say Robert Vaden, though. Vaden was really good, man, while I played with him. And he was just an incredible athlete while we were in high school. He can do a lot of things that a lot of people couldn't. James Hardy was pretty good, too. He's in the NFL right now, but he was a really good basketball player. So I mean,
wide receiver, right, from Indiana.
Yep. He was about 6'6", 6'7". He could shoot. So I mean, I don't have like, one player that really the best player I ever played against, but I mean, Robert Vaden was really good, and I really respected his game a lot.
Playing the game of basketball, who did you idolize from a pro standpoint? Was there anybody in particular?
My favorite player growing up was Gary Payton. We don't play nothing alike, but just his tenacity and, what he brought to the game. He brought a flair to the game. He went hard all the time. He never backed down. So I took those aspects of his game, because sometimes when you say your favorite player, everybody believes you should play like him, but that's not necessarily true. Sometimes you take the intangibles and what they offer, and like I say, his tenacity and just how hard he went is something I looked at. The player I felt like I played most like, and sometimes mimic my game, was Mike Bibby. I thought we did a lot of things similar. He wasn't super athletic, but he used the ball screen really well. He could shoot it, and he was a really good ball handler. I mean, obviously Michael Jordan, man, he can't grow up in Chicago and not like Michael Jordan. So he was always great. And another player that I looked up to as well was John Stockton. He was a great point guard, just the things he did, and sometimes he don't even get enough credit for being a defender and leading in assists. But obviously now, man, I'm a Kobe Bryant fan. To me, he's the closest thing we'll ever see to Michael Jordan, and the way he dominates both sides of the ball and just his IQ. I really look at players' IQ, because a lot of people can play the game, but it's can you think the game and think in between the lines, and just a lot of decisions he makes is why I feel he's the best player, and that means a lot to me. Like I say, man, I look at not only athletic ability, but how you think the game, how you play.
Okay. What has the game of basketball done for Gary Patterson?
I mean, it's done a lot. It's opened up a lot of relationships. It's let me meet a lot of people. It's let me travel to pretty much every state in the United States, as well as go to, the Bahamas and pretty much everywhere, Alaska. So it's let me travel. And it's built confidence in me, man. You should always take something from whatever you do, whatever you're doing, and whatever you spend a lot of time at. If you're spending a lot of time at, you have to come away with something. In basketball, it's really taught me like determination and just hard work. And if you put in that work, what'll happen? And also, like I say, confidence. My confidence on the basketball court really transcended over to everything else I do, whether it be trying to become an entrepreneur, trying to own my own business. I take that same drive and that same focus, and I'm just as confident that I'm going to be the best at my business and what I'm trying to achieve.
Okay. What is one motto that you always live by or will continue to live by?
When I was young, my brother, I had a really close relationship with my brother, and I lost him when I was 12. So I always draw back on a lot of stuff that, he would instill in me, just the hard work and like who to trust and who not to trust. But it was really, life is, it's really just only 10% of what happens to you. And people are like, what do you mean? That's all of life, what happens to you. But it's really 10% of what happens to you, and it's 90% of how you react to it. Because, your reactions can cause consequences. So, whatever happened to you, you always got to think, because your reaction is bigger than whatever it is that's happening to you.
Okay. Gary, man, I want to thank you for the opportunity of sitting down and talking with you, man. I really appreciate it, and I wish the best for you in the future.
Thanks a lot.
This is Athletes Lives Network. Once an athlete, always an athlete. So you were saying, as far as, you want to be an entrepreneur and a business owner, kind of go into what kind of business you want to run or your thoughts?
Well, I'm in the process right now of developing my own clothing store, as well as a line within the store. The clothing store will be called Cream 24.
This the shirt right here?
Yep, this is the t-shirt right here. This is one of the shirts in the line. A lot more will be coming soon, and the store should be open probably, early 2011, right around there. That's a target date for us, but that's one of the things that I've been working tirelessly at. Like I said, my focus was basketball, but now it's the business side of it. I want to use that degree, and I'm really motivated to have my own retail store, and it will happen. So that's what I've been working at. Cream 24 is coming soon.
Okay, so when you say Cream 24, what is the 24 for?
Well, the 24, man, it's just a number that I wore in school, and it really has a lot of meaning. Actually, my brother passed away. He was 24 years old, and I was 12 at that time. And ironically, when I was born, he was 12. So you put 2 and 2 together, 12 and 12 is 24. So that number means a lot. And then he also wore number 24 as well. The other side of it, my business partner, he bought a house when he was 24 years old. And last year I turned 24 and actually got the house from him 2 days before I turned 24. So it's just got a lot of significant meaning. It really dates back to my brother, and that's the main thing. So I always wanted to incorporate him in whatever I do. Like I said, when he passed away, he was 24. So that's where the number comes from.